We're gonna get into some Magic the Gathering this morning, and then we're gonna go into some Dusk Fade because I've been meaning to play more of that game. What we have here, we're gonna go on Architect, and we have a little bit of a special scenario right now, okay? Our special scenario is that majority of, like, the entire deck's technically built, but we have to remove cards. There's like 170 cards inside of the Architect, and we have to remove the stuff that's in there right now. So that's what our goal is going to be today. We got Skrelv Defector Might as the commander. This is something that I know a lot of people don't normally play as a commander. I believe I looked up on EDH Rec alongside with me using like ChatGPT and Google in general, is just seeing like what's some very unpopular mono white commanders, much less just mono white Phyrexian commanders, but just mono white commanders in general. I've kind of just had this mentality of wanting to try out commanders that are less popular. I feel like it could be really fun, and then I just had this idea in my mind, like, okay, it could be kind of fun and be kind of cool. Let me see if they're really unpopular because they're bad, or just because they get overlooked by just stuff that are really, really strong. Even though these have the potential to be really strong as well, maybe you just have to try a little harder. So that was my mentality going into it. I added a bunch of cards to this deck. Like I said, this deck has like over 170 stuff in it right now, and we have to basically reduce it to 100 cards. So I'm gonna go over a lot of the stuff that's in the deck right now, the main theme that I want to go through with the deck. The main thing that I really want to try to push for with this deck is toxic Phyrexian tribal that has support with Infect. And I want to make sure, because I'm playing mono white, that I have some really good card draw in there, as well as making sure that I have a lot of really awesome like interaction stuff to sort of control the deck like other people's decks, and being an oppressive force. I want a lot of token generation in the deck, card draw wherever I can get it, interaction with instant sorceries, ETBs, whatever. But the main thing is Phyrexian build, Phyrexian themed, and making sure that I have almost everything has toxic or infect inside of it, and a really good cast of supporting artifacts to help push things forward. There are only a couple cards that I don't. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you, and I know who you are. Thank you. I'm gonna color code the deck because that's one of the my favorite things about Architect, is just color coding things. So we're gonna, obviously we got to keep the commander. And I'm gonna go over here to, where is it? They change stuff around all the time. All right, so this is the only combo that I have included in the deck right now. We have Phyrexian Vindicator, which I really like. Infinite damage, basically. Open details. If damage will be dealt to Phyrexian Vindicator, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, Phyrexian Vindicator deals that much damage to any other target. And then it's paired with Guilty Conscience. Guilty Conscience is an enchantment. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, Guilty Conscience deals that much damage to enchanted creature. So essentially it creates an infinite loop where as soon as somebody deals damage to it, or I deal damage to itself by like anything, I could do damage to it, it's just gonna keep on firing back, and I can just keep on pinging people. Obviously I want to keep that combo in the deck. Something I thought about. I'm very privy to Guilty Conscience. It's a really cool card, so must have. And I've never actually officially played with Phyrexian Vindicator. I've seen it in card shop locally plenty of times, just never picked it up myself personally. Blind Obedience, I would like to have this stay in the deck as well. Let's go through some of the creatures first. As Adaptive Automaton enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Adaptive Automaton is the chosen type in addition to other creatures you control of the chosen type. Get a 1/1. Annex, I already know we're gonna keep Annex. When an X Sentry enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls with a mana value 3 or less until Annex leaves the battlefield. That's just good value. It's a 3 mana drop, and I get to remove something until this is gone. Plus it has Toxic. Anti-Venom, he's kind of in the maybe right now, if I'll be honest. Let me think about it for a sec. It's cool to get shit back from the graveyard and put right back on the battlefield. I would say we'll keep it for now, but on the edge about it. I'm on the edge about it. I'm gonna put it on red on the edge about it. This one I would really like to keep, but I understand if it doesn't work synergistically that we just remove it. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put any number of non-land permanent cards with a total mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest in the bottom, but this is only when it dies, so I would need something that allows me to sacrifice it realistically, because it's not adding any value outside of being a flyer with vigilance, and that's it. Like, I don't care that it's a dragon. It's a high cost card to me. It's a 5 cost card in mono white. That's kind of a lot to me. And the way that I see it is the only value is, can I consistently sack it? So this is a card that usually works really well in black. Apostle of Invasion, as long as it has 3 or more poison counters, it has double strike. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in there. It's expensive. It's 6 costs, but it also has flying. I can give it infect, and it'll just have double strike, so I could give it infect twice. It'll have 2 instances of applying that infect. So I think that's great value, and by time this comes on the field, opponents should have at least 3 or more poison counters, the way that I'm playing the deck. Whenever an opponent searches their library, you gain 1 life and draw a card. This doesn't really fit the theme that well, and that's the only thing that's throwing me off with it, but you can flash it in. It's really great, and you get in some card draw. So for now, I'm gonna say keep, just because of the fact that it gives me value in that. Like, I'm able to literally get card value from that, because again, mono white doesn't have a lot of like draw spells and shit like that. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, you guys are welcome to let me know and fill me in. I just don't feel like mono white has a bunch of value with card draw. You got the marriage thing. Whenever attentive Skywarden deals combat damage to a player or battle transform up to 1 incubator token you control. I want to keep this in here because I know that the deck already produces a lot of incubator tokens, so I'm going to keep that in here. I just know the deck already. Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens and the incubator tokens in this deck. Alicia Shepherd enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block, which, I mean, that's the risk that you're taking with this. Players dealt combat damage by them also get a poison counter, so I'm gonna keep that. Well, actually, because we have so many that produce this, it's not a necessity that we keep this. Keeping this in the deck is expensive, both CMC wise, but I want to keep this in the deck because I've never had this card, and it's a cool way for me to just go get it. It works with Phyrexians, Infect, Indestructible, Trample. If it would put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it, shuffle it back into the owner's library. It's mill protected, so we're cool. Core Prowler, in fact, when Core Prowler is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, proliferate. That's another thing. We do want to have a good proliferation engines, so that way we can, you know, keep it going, but it's not blue, so I'm not gonna keep this notion in my head like, oh, we need to have a fuck ton of proliferation. My thing is that this is a 4-drop. It's a 4-drop for Infect, and I love Infect because Infect, I can just keep on scaling and ramping this, and for that reason, I'm gonna keep it. This also has Infect. Again, I kind of just want to keep all the stuff that has Infect. It's a 4-drop as well. When Corpse Cur enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card with Infect from your graveyard to your hand. So this is also kind of like, if I have this on the field and something is if something ends up being milled or anything goes to the graveyard, I have protection by playing this, getting it back to my hand, playing it. Yes, this is a 1-drop. This deck is going to be very creature heavy. Definitely keeping this one. 100% keeping this. I personally put this in the deck. Like, I was just thinking to myself, to me, it's a less popular Elesh Norn. Most people go for a lot of other Elesh Norns, which I have some of them in the deck, but this one goes under the radar all the time to me. Whenever a source, it has Vigilance 3/5, whenever a source an opponent controls damages you, or whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. So taxing them just for trying to hit me, you know, for doing damage to me. from any source. Pay 3, sack 3 other creatures, which I can do because I'll probably be creating a lot of tokens. Exile Elish Norn, then return it to the battlefield transformed. And the transformation is really good. The Argent Etchings. Incubate 2 5 times. Then transform all incubator tokens you control. So incubate 2, incubator 2, I'm creating a 0/0 incubator token with 2 1/1 counters on them 5 times. That's 10 damage right off the bat, right? Then the second thing is creatures you control get a 1/1 and gain double strike until end of turn. So that then turns into everything getting a 1/1. So now you turn 10 damage into, with double strike, 20 damage. And then everything gets 1/1. So now they're all 3/3s. And 3 times 5 is 15. You double that, you get 30. Then the last thing, destroy all permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians, which my entire board will mostly be Phyrexian, so I'm not worried about that. So this is a board wipe at the end, and then it comes back to the field. Literally, when this is done, you exile it, and then you return it to the battlefield face up. So it's never going away unless somebody removes it themselves, which is something I really like about this deck. Something I really like about this card. The other Elish Norn, probably one of the more popular ones. Other creatures you control get a 2/2, and creatures your opponent control get a -2/-2. Again, I kind of just want to keep the theme of manipulating the enemies best I can. You know, Phyrexians are good at that. I'm going to keep that one as well. Very expensive. Don't know how often I'll play the card, though. When Flying Raptor enters the battlefield, another target creature you control with Toxic gets a 1/1 and gains flying until end of turn. This is just good value. It gives something else flying. Gotta keep this one. I didn't add just like garbage cards in here, so these are all pretty decent cards as well. Ichlor, yeah, Ichlor Call, Meyer. It has Infect. I'm gonna keep it just because the Infect on there, because I can buff it and then it just does that much poison damage. And Scissor Glider, don't really need this one, but I like the corrupted effect on it. Whenever Incisor Glider attacks, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control get a 1/1 until end of turn. That just helps buff the board altogether. So I'll be honest, like, I don't need it. So I'll put that there as like something I'm looking at cutting. Toxic 1, Indoctrination Attendant. When Indoctrination Attendant enters the battlefield, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian artifact creature token with Toxic 1 and so this just helps buff the board. I would say I will keep. Actually, yeah, I'll put that on the chopping block. This is good just because it synergizes well. Whenever an opponent attacks with creature, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, I'll draw a card. This gives me draw engine. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, I'll draw a card as well. Just extra draw. I want to keep that in the deck because of that. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, you may pay 1, and if I do, I draw a card. So I want to keep that because it helps with draws. Metallic Mimic. This is just good. I'm going to keep this on the field. I'm going to keep this in the deck. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature. I choose Phyrexian. It enters, is the chosen type in addition to its other types. And each other creature you control of the chosen type enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. That's pretty self-explanatory. While that's in the deck, I get to keep on proliferating. And that's whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, which I will be putting a lot of non-token creatures as well as token creatures. As long as it's your turn, creature tokens you control get a 1/0 and have first strike. Very important to buff my board with that. This has first strike, is 4/2. And you can pay 4 and 2 life, or you can just pay 4. You can pay 3 and 2 life or 4. Create a 1/1 colorless, and I can just keep doing this as long as I have it. Create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can't be blocked. Or can't block, excuse me. Yeah, definitely got to keep this. This is probably, you know, the very sneaky commander of the deck, because if you pull this out and put this in the command zone, boom, everybody's going to target you. So having this just in the 99 is very helpful to me. Mondrak Glory Dominus. If one or more tokens will be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. I could pay 1 and 4 life and sack 2 other artifacts and or creatures, put an indestructible counter on Mondrak Glory Dominus. But this is just a token doubler, which is why it's in the deck. This is in the deck just because cool factors, not gonna lie. Whenever a commander you control enters the battlefield, attacks proliferate. It's there because of that too. But flying first strike, and I like the design of it. Whenever Norn's Inquisitor enters the battlefield, incubate 2. I create incubator tokens. Whenever a permanent you control transforms into a Phyrexian, put a 1/1 counter on it. So it already comes in with 2 1/1s, then you put another 1/1 when you transform it. Debating, because this is really good. But again, it's, you know, theme wise. But I kind of want to keep him in the deck just because. I'm building a deck, a mono white deck based around him right now too. Whenever he attacks and at least 3 other creatures are attacking, you choose which creatures block this combat and how those creatures block. I mean, like, how is that not useful? I literally get to choose, no, you're not blocking this turn, or you are blocking this turn. Which, I mean, like, come on, that's super useful. All right, we are kind of scrolling along through here, patrolling Peacemaker. Where are we at right now? We got to start getting rid of some of these. Like I said, it's going to be very creature heavy anyways. A lot of these creatures are really fucking good. Yeah, we don't have that many. We might end up keeping majority of these. This creature enters with 2 1/1 counters on it. Whenever an opponent commits a crime, they commit a crime if they target an opponent, anything an opponent controls, and or cards in opponent's graveyard. Proliferate. I'm torn, because obviously that's really good. Most of the time people are going to be committing crimes. They are. They're gonna have to target somebody, but a part of me just, it's a really good card. It's a really good card for this deck. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. It's just a really good card for this deck when you think about it. If we're trying to get proliferation, we have this on the board, somebody already has poison counters, boom, every single time. It's whenever an opponent commits a crime. So again, they commit a crime if they target an opponent, boom. As soon as they target anybody that's an opponent to them, it's instantly, like, if they target me, I'm their opponent when they target an opponent. So anytime they target me, proliferate. Anything an opponent controls, I proliferate. If it's in the graveyard, I proliferate. That's just really good. Too good to not have in the deck. Each player can't cast more than 1 9. Yeah, this has to be in the deck. Dead ass, bro. Come on. 9 Phyrexian creatures into the battlefield tapped. Infect. This is one of the ones where, you know, I could see we don't really have to keep this. So I'm outright just gonna remove it. We don't need to keep that. Yeah, it has infect, deals damage, and this is immediately is going to do 5 damage if I get this shit to push through, especially with the other human soldier over here. Phyrexian Juggernaut attacks each turn if able as well. So yeah, for sure keeping that. Phyrexian Pegasus. Whenever Phyrexian Pegasus attacks another target attacking creature without flying, gains flying until end of turn. We don't need 2 of these, because that essentially does the same thing as this other thing over here. Where was it? Where if it's like, if it doesn't have flying, it gives it flying. Oh, I didn't rate this one. Where was it? It was early up here. That's not it. No, I'll know when I see it. Right here. We don't need both. They cost the same amount too. When fleeing raptor enters battlefield, another target creature you control gets control with toxic gets a 1/1 and gains flying. That means that it has to have toxic, whereas this, another target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. I like this one better. It doesn't get the 1/1, but I'd rather have that. And I'll just remove this. The thing about some of the reasons why I have cards in here is because of the commander itself. Like, I'm making something unblockable. It's kind of a draw engine, obviously. I will remove, I'll put this in the maybe board, actually, straight up. I'll immediately put that in maybe board. Ooh, Shattered Angel. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, I may gain 3 life. I would say it's fine to remove because it doesn't necessarily add synergy to my deck. It's more so there to buff myself against green players. Whenever another non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate a non-token artifact. So at the moment we have a lot of artifacts. Can't keep everything, you know. And that's just really good. Yeah, I'll remove it, but I'll put it in the maybe board. I could come back to it as Infect, but it's a 4-drop. I'm gonna remove this one. Kind of too high mana cost. Virulent Silencer. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. A non-token artifact creature. Yeah, I would say keep this. It just adds too much value. Whenever one or more Phyrexians you control attack, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield if its mana value is less than or equal to the total power. Return target artifact card from my graveyard to the battlefield if its mana value is less than or equal to the total power. That's a lot of value. Gotta keep that. I'm gonna remove this one. I know it's like really easily popular to keep and it's a draw engine. I just don't like it. Just doesn't fit with the theme of the deck. Like, it's just a random vampire there, and I get the other humans that I have in there are also like not really fitting, but they're just like way too good. Oh yeah, this is just good for any other play, like me against any other player. All right, 35 creatures. That's actually a really well-rounded amount. Probably less than thinking about it, we're gonna remove anti-venom unless I add in like the Phyrexian altar. I don't want to have this in here, so it's very expensive. It's 5 mana for it. and I don't have any way currently of consistently killing it. And I kind of don't want to add in the Phyrexian Altar. Like, it's just a waste of $45 to add that to the deck. So I think we just remove that. The Shepherd, when it enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 might creature tokens with Toxic. It's a 5. I'll remove that. We have plenty of other token generators here. Whenever it attacks, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control get a 1/1 on them. And that's only if this thing attacks itself. That's not bad, honestly. None of these were like bad, you know? Yeah, I'll keep this because this is still interaction. I'll keep these two. 32 creatures. Yeah. 32 creatures is fine by my books. We have got to lessen the artifacts. Holy shit, bro. So many. There's so many instants too. We might end up just having a lot of artifacts, I won't lie, but all right, when this artifact enters, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. That's a good value there. Whenever a land an opponent controls enters, if that player controls more lands than you, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. I gotta say that's a must-have. You're gonna see what I'm saying. None of these are like bad. It's just kind of choosing which ones help the deck more over other stuff. One of the things that I've been trying to help out a really good friend of mine with is not building around a specific encounter, but really building around the synergy of your deck, because he's still kind of, I would say I'm newer to deck building still for Magic, but I've been deck building stuff for like, it feels like kind of my whole life, you know? So at the same time, I feel like I'm pretty decent with building decks. And I've just been getting even better now that I've diverted a lot of my attention to Magic the Gathering. But one thing that I've noticed that this really close friend of mine does is he tries to add so much in different interaction or interactable things in his deck that it falls apart at the core, because you've built around, well, what if somebody does this, and what if somebody does this, and what if somebody does that? You can't protect yourself against anything, like everything at all times. Something is going to slip through the cracks. And if you try to build around for every single thing and any other try to build around every single encounter, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. So I try to encourage building around the synergy and the main strategy. The main strategy is, we're playing mono white. There's not that many ways of getting card draw and cheating things onto the field. So when you have this available, yes, we need to keep this. That helps the synergy of the deck. We get card draw, we're shuffling the deck, and we're getting the ability of putting extra lands on the battlefield if they control more lands than us. And if we're playing mono white, they are likely to have more lands than us. Argent Diaz. It enters with 2 oil counters. Whenever 2 or more creatures attack, this is anybody, the opponent, myself, anybody. Whenever 2 or more creatures attack, put an oil counter on Argent Diaz. I can pay 2 to tap it and remove 2 oil counters and exile another target non-land permanent. Its controller draws 2 cards. That's just cool if I need extra draw, I'll be honest. And it's just really good value. I could exile my own thing, I could exile somebody else and have them draw, but ideally I would look at one of my tokens and I would say, okay, I attacked with it this turn, it got its value, I'm gonna sack it, or I'm gonna exile it, you know? And I know you're thinking, why didn't you keep the dragon? Because it's not dying. It says when it dies. This is specifically a way of exiling another target creature. So I'm gonna say we're gonna keep this one. Very good value there, and it's on brand for the Phyrexian. Literally have the Phyrexians there. That's another thing. I love building stuff with that. When this artifact enters, put a -1 counter, -1/1 on target creature. I can pay 4 to proliferate. I think the pay 4 is a little too expensive. I do like what it does, but it's a little too expensive for my taste. We're gonna remove that. Contagion Engine. When Contagion Engine enters the battlefield, put a -1/1 counter on each creature target player controls. That's really good. It's a 6-drop though. And I can pay for it to proliferate twice. I don't think there's a world where I prioritize. I don't know. I'm gonna put this as red. The other one was better because it's cheaper. But if I do get this off, this is a lot of value. Grafted exoskeleton, equipped creature gets and has infect. Yeah, we're keeping that. It literally gives one of my creatures infect. Oh yeah, I'm keeping this just because if I can pull this off, I want to. I know I just said don't build around situational shit, but literally I feel like I would be able to have 15 tapped creatures. I just feel like I could have 15 tapped creatures on the field at some point, and I could just pay 5 and untap them, and I just win the game. And that would be hilarious as fuck to pull off. Hero Torn, although if a lot of stuff doesn't work, this would be the first thing I cut, I promise. It's also good right here because I can just pay 2 to untap 2 tap creatures I control and draw a card. That's still a good draw engine. Hero Torn, enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, Phyrexian. Creature spells you cast with the chosen type cost 1 less to cast, and if you have not noticed, some of these things are expensive. So that's just good engine, good value there. Well, no, a lot of the cards are within 2 and 3 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. That's just extra card draw once again. Icon of Ancestry. This is just really hard. None of these are bad. As Icon of Ancestry enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Phyrexian. Creatures of the chosen type get a 1/1. Pay 3. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card of the chosen type from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom library in a random order. I don't need this in the deck. It's just, you know, I have plenty of other things that do something similar. We're keeping this in the deck. I'll read it off. Equipped creature gets a 2/0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. It's just something else that's giving toxic. Although it might not be necessary, I'll be honest. I'll put a red on it. I'll think about it. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. We're keeping this on, but we are changing the printing for sure. What's this? I've never seen this printing before. It's really cool. If I can, I'd get Lightning Greaves immediately on my commander, bro. Trying not to have that shit be targeted at all. Manifold Key. This is a must because I'm literally making stuff unblockable. It's a mana engine. Don't need it. I'll remove it. Norn's Annex. I kind of want to keep just for the flavor. Creatures can't attack you. Planeswalkers, unless their controller pays for each of those creatures. So you're either going to pay a white or 2 life. Yeah, I really like that. And I'm playing Phyrexian, so I'm gonna pay life. You know what I mean? Like some of these cards that say I could pay white mana or 2 life, I'm probably just gonna pay 2 life. Like I'm paying mono white Phyrexians, and I'm gonna be as involved with the playstyle as I possibly can. Phyrexian Atlas for the flavor factor. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep this. Whenever Phyrexian Atlas becomes tapped, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters loses a life. I'll put it in a maybe board. It's immediately a maybe. Whenever equipped creature is put into a graveyard, draw 2 cards. I could kill. This is here because I could kill any of the 1/1 Phyrexian Might tokens that I get and then draw 2 cards. That's literally the only reason it's here. Soul Ring is Soul Ring. Yeah, Soul Ring is Soul Ring. Definitely keeping Staff of Completion. I can pay 3 life to proliferate. That's why this is here. Or draw a card. Yeah, destroy target permanent you own. I guess I could have did that and kept the dragon in here. Yeah, if this is in the deck, I would keep the dragon. Because it just works. It just works. I'm gonna say no to Swiftfoot boots. Like, I don't need both of them in it. You can't, like I said, you can't build for everything. I'm gonna remove one of those. I'm on the air about staff of completion because Mike, it's contingent. If I have that, I will 100% bring that dragon back and put that in the deck. I just will. Symmetry Matrix. Whenever a creature with a power equal to its toughness enters the battlefield under control, you may pay 1. If I do, draw a card. This is just a good draw engine because almost all the stuff that's coming inside the battlefield is going to be 1/1s. Or things that are matching their power and toughness, you know? So it's one of those things where I pay 4 to have this on the field, and if I get this earlier rather than later, it has a lot of value because I'm making a bunch of Phyrexian Might tokens. Almost everything here, I'm just making tokens, and then I have supporting enchantments and supporting everything else to do so. That's why I said so many of these are really good. I think I have to keep this. Sack and artifact proliferate. That's self-explanatory. We have plenty of artifact. Group creature gets untapped. That's just, that's literally just good to have on something, but I'll be honest, I don't need it. I'll remove that. Vanquisher banner enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. Phyrexians. Whenever you cast a creature spell of the chosen type, draw a card. I would say Vanquisher banner is more value than Symmetry Matrix. But because Symmetry Matrix is cheaper, it's literally 39 cents, 59 cents. I'm going to get that, and I'll put this in the maybe board. Even though technically this is a better card. Yeah, that's definitely the better card because that's on cast. I get to draw a card. But if I'm creating multiple tokens, this gives me the ability to just pay 1 for each one that's coming out. Still on the air about some of these. I would say I could remove this. Yeah, I think Staff of Completion is too good to not keep. So I got to bring that dragon back. Because that way I can literally just kill it. Destroy target creature of my own with Staff of Completion. Target permanent I own, and it's only 1 life. I pay 1 life. After I have this on the field, I pay 1 life. Get that out of there, and I look at the top 7 cards in my library, and then I have a lot of cards with a permanent value of 4 or less from among them. Like, there's a lot of cards I have that are 4 and less. So the odds that I get a permanent with a mana value 4 or less is pretty large, actually. This is a head scratcher. When Contagion Engine enters the battlefield, put a negative 1/1 on all creatures. Target player controls. I think no. I think we put this in maybe board and we think about it longer. This is where we're gonna really get down because I'm keeping all the lands that's in here. I'm pretty sure. Maybe, yeah. Enchantments. Okay, before we get into the enchantments, I'm gonna take a slight break. Just give me 1 sec. All right. Got a little hungry. Needed to get me something to eat. I forgot that I bought us pizza yesterday. Right. Let's trim down some of these instants. We already have a pretty decent amount of interaction, so I'm not like too heavy on keeping a bunch of the instants, but I would rather have instants than sorceries, but some sorceries are really fucking good. Target player stacks an enchantment bolster, stacks an enchantment bolster 1. Choose a creature with the least toughness among creatures you control and put a 1/1 counter on it. That's kind of cool, you know, making somebody sack something just because it's the first one out the gate. Yeah, let's keep it. Chroma's Will, yeah, we're definitely keeping that. That's just, it's popular for a reason, I would say. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both instead. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. Creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from each color until end of turn. Apostle's Blessing can be paid. Yeah, so it's basically a 1-cost spell for me. Target artifact or creature you control gains protection from artifacts or from the color of your choice until end of turn. Gotta keep that. Choose the color. White creatures you control gain protection from the color. And yeah, I like this because, in case you don't know, I know it's a confusing thing for, especially for newer players, and a lot of newer people watch me. It's not like a bunch of people watch my channel that are just, you know, they're breathing Magic the Gathering. A lot of people watch my channel that are newer to Magic the Gathering too, and I will personally say it is confusing when you're getting into the game for like your first year or two, which I'm still in my second year right now. It's confusing when you just get protection from something and nobody really explains to you that when you gain protection from a color, that player cannot block with that card. You can't block it. So if a red player is aside from you, across from you, and you play this instant, they say, hey, I'm gonna declare this as a blocker. Or before, you can say, hey, I'm choosing this as an attacker, and they're a red, and I don't know, they could be a red and black player or something, a Rakdos player, and their card has red in it. It's still a red card. So I can say red, boom. What creatures I control gain protection from red until the end of turn. He can't block. He can't even declare it as a blocker. It's not going to be able to block. So this essentially makes my cards unblockable, which is something that I want a lot of in this deck. Charge of the Mites. Charge of the Mites deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Create 2. Choose one of these, by the way. Create 2 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Mite artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1. So I have a lot of creatures that are not able to block, but I have a lot of them that are. So yeah, I want to keep that just for the flavor of the deck. It's not, you know, it might not add the most value, but I like that because of the flavor of the deck. Any number of target, yeah, we're keeping this. That's definitely a must-have. Again, just due to the nature of everything. Any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. I can convoke it. Creatures, they can help cast it. It's a 4-cost. I could eventually just have this be a 2-cost. It's a draw spell. Target creature you control gets a +2/2 until end of turn. If that creature has toxic, draw a card. Everything that I have in this deck has toxic, so that's just a boom. I pay 2 to draw a card, essentially. So I'm going to keep that in the deck. Dawn Charm. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Regenerate target creature or counter target spell that targets you. I'm definitely keeping that because it's like one of the only counter spells that mono white has, literally countering myself or countering something that targets myself, which I need to look into that. It's only $2. Dawn's Truth. I already have like a couple of copies of these behind me. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. If the gift was promised, permanents, yuck. Ugh. I can gift a card. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If you do, they draw a card before its other effects. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. If the gift was promised, permanents you control also gain indestructible until end of turn. That's just good protection. Gotta have that. Gotta keep that. Yeah, that's good 2-mana destroy. Tap target creature. Dispatch. Metalcraft, if you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature. Up in the air on it. It's a cheap spell and it's very effective. I just don't know if I need it for the, you know, synergy of the deck. Enlightened Tutor. Why not? I'm not somebody that usually plays a bunch of tutors anyway, but white doesn't have a ridiculous amount of tutors, so why not? I'll just keep that in the deck. And it's a cheaper printing, so yeah, we'll keep that in the deck. We'll go back here. Search your library for an artifact or enchantment card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top. This is good because I could literally go for, artifact, enchantment, put it on top, right? I could go and end up getting blind obedience, making it that they tap all the time. I could get land tax. You know, I could get, there's so much value here of what I could actually grab. Norn's Decree. By the time I end up playing this, you know, it's a one drop, but by the time I end up playing it, I should have enough mana in my head to like trigger something. So I would say, oh, I'm gonna reveal it, put it on top, and then I'll have something to allow me to draw. At least that's the way that you should theoretically be playing these types of cards. If you're not playing the cards this way, you're just risking it. Somebody's gonna fucking do something because they know it's there. They could mill you by their next turn, whatever the fuck, you know. Keep stuff held back in until you're ready to act upon certain actions, I would say. Erode, destroy target creature or planeswalker, its controller may search their library for a basic land card. That's a good destruction spell. I will keep it. The other one is pretty good too. I mean, it's tapping. How far down the list are we? Okay, we still have a large amount of these that we could end up not keeping. I just want to make sure I have enough. You know what? I'll keep it. I want to make sure we just have enough interaction. Flare Fortitude. You may sack a non-token white creature rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Until end of turn, your life can't be changed, and permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible. Very well and much needed. But I like that printing. This printing is really cool too. We're doing a really good job rounding out the deck. Flawless Maneuver. I mean, come on. We got to keep that in the deck. If you control your commander as you cast a spell, you may cast it without paying the mana cost. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. I guess we don't need it because we already have a lot of protection in the deck. But it's like, why not? Destroy target permanent. We can get rid of this card. We don't need this. That's fine. Go to Ghostway. Exile each creature you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under the owner's control at the beginning of the next step. That's a good flicker effect. No, blinking it. I don't really have that much value out of this, so I'll take that away from the deck as well. Good card, just probably not the best for this deck. This is a good card. I'm probably going to keep this in here. Kabira Takedown deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Considering that we are scaling with a bunch of Phyrexian Might tokens and just a bunch of cheaper spells in general, this is going to be doing a lot of damage mid to late game. And if I want to, I could just play it as a land if I feel like I don't want to use the value from this. So it just has too much value for me to cut it from the deck, and for 35 cents, yeah. Mana Tithe, counter target spell, unless its player its controller pays 1. We'll keep that in the deck too. It's a counter spell. Path to Exile, classic. Exile target creature, its controller may search the library for a basic land. It's a 1-drop. I kind of don't know if I want to give my opponents that much value. So I'll say no. We'll take Path of Exile out of the deck. Razorgrass Ambush. Razorgrass Ambush deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. We'll take this out. Counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. Fuck yeah, we'll keep that. Reprieve. Return target spell to its owner's hand. Draw a card. We don't need that in the deck. It's like a blue card. This is a pretty decent, I mean, this is a pretty good card actually. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn, and it has a potential to just be a land if you want it to be a land. I'll keep that. There's a lot of value there. Exile target creature card. Its controller gains life equal to its power. I could exile my own card if I buff it enough. I feel like that card is just the most well used in green and white. I'll put it in maybe. I know you're probably gonna look at me like, bro, he's crazy. These are really great. Yeah, I know that they're really great cards, but we gotta make cuts for the synergy, bro. We gotta make cuts for the synergy. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? Until your next turn, your life can't be changed. You know, Tefari's protection, we're keeping that for sure. Proliferation. No, we're good. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Addendum, if you cast a spell during your main phase, put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures and they gain vigilance until end of turn. Yeah, why not? That's pretty cool. All right, 21 instants. Oof. We gotta make cuts. I mean, we're gonna have to go back in here and get rid of some of these. All right, we'll go over lands briefly, but I'm not getting rid of any of the lands. Make something unblockable. At the beginning of your upkeep, you control 7 or more planes. You may return target creature from your battlefield, from your graveyard to the battlefield. A proliferation land. It's just value. Why, you know, you don't have to remove it. Core Haven. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt by target attacking creature this turn. Mina's Tirith enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Create a 1/1 Phyrexian Might. This is there for the flavor of the deck. Add 3 team mana pool. Spend this only to cast artifact spells. That's just good because you're adding 3. Myriad Landscape, sack it, you know, I get some lands. That's why that's there. This is expensive. This is probably the most expensive land I'll ever get, and I'd probably proxy it, I'll be honest. Choose a color. Add to your mana pool an amount of mana that color equal to your devotion to that color. That is crazy. Crazy good. Plains, Rogue's Passage. Sack this, draw a card. This land becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with a mana value X. Target 1/1 gets a +2/1 until in turn. Activate only if your opponent has 3 or more poison counters. 3/3 city, pretty obvious as to why that's in the deck. I can choose Phyrexians, and then I choose a color, which is going to be white. Add an amount of mana of that color equal to the number of creatures you control of the chosen type. Wind Brisk Heights, Hideaway 4. Enters, you may play the exile card without paying the mana cost. And then we get over to the Planeswalkers. Put a 1/1 white creature token onto the battlefield. I mean, come on now, that's really good. It's just adding to the token gen. Target creature gets a 3/3 and gains flying. And then this is, you know, the kicker. You get an emblem with artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. And lands you control are indestructible. I think just having these 2 here are great. This doubles tokens. Yeah, I'm not going to touch these. We're going to keep these 2 in the deck. I think we get rid of some of the... Like, we're at 130 right now. I think we get rid of some of the instants. Let's go through the sorceries real quick. All right, Abuelo's Awakening. Return target artifact or or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with X additional 1/1 counters on it. It's a 1/1 spirit creature with flying in addition to its other types. It's a return effect. I don't really need that. We can get rid of that. Azura's Command. Let's speed run through this. Yeah, because I don't have a bunch of time. Like, I do have time, but you know what I mean. We're keeping that. I can choose to cut a deal. Each opponent draws a card, then you draw a card for each opponent who drew a card this way. Expel the interlopers. Choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with a power greater than or equal to the chosen number. Wow, I forgot to even put that in the deck. Choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. I could just say 0. So that's a board wipe. Keep that on. Yeah, we're keeping Farewell in the deck. Mass Calcify. Destroy all non-white creatures. It's kind of just, it's a steep price to pay for something that I'm already going to be doing for cheaper above with Expel the Interlopers. Destroy all non-land permanents. And then that's also a land. Destroy all non-land permanents. It's steep for 8. Like it's 8 mana, but you're destroying you're resetting basically. I'll put that in the maybe board because I already have other things that are doing some good stuff. Phyrexian Rebirth. Destroy all creatures, then create an XX colorless Phyrexian Horror artifact creature token with where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. Again, I'll put that maybe board. Exile all multicolored permanents. Secret Rendezvous. You and opponent each draw 3 cards. I feel like I got enough draw engines in here now that I would keep that to the side. 7's Reclamation. Return target permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy this spell and choose new targets for the copy, which means I could flash this back. Return target permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. Phyrexian Rebirth. Destroy all creatures, then create an XX colorless Phyrexian Horror artifact creature token with where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. Again, I'll put that maybe board. Exile all multicolored permanents. Secret Rendezvous. You and opponent each draw 3 cards. I feel like I got enough draw engines in here now that I would keep that to the side. 7's Reclamation. Return target permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy this spell and choose new targets for the copy, which means I could flash this back. Return target permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a lot of value there. I do think though that we're doing enough of everything else in this deck already that we don't need it. Sunfall. Exile all creatures. Incubate X, where X is a number of creatures. Yeah, that just rebuilds my board immediately. You gain X life, create X colors, Phyrexian Might creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can be blocked. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. A lot of destroy shit. Wrath of God. Destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Yeah, I would say keeping 8 sorceries is fine. I don't want to have a lot of... Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Yeah, I don't want to have a lot of them. Let me go back and relook at some of my stuff here. Got to get rid of 24 things. Okay, immediately I'm seeing that I'll probably get rid of Halo Fountain. Yeah, I'll get it. I'm gonna speed run through this to make it quicker. You know, I feel like I don't need this. I'm gonna put this in maybe. I have so many other interactions now. Dawn's Truth, you and permanent, you control X-proof until end of turn. That's a destroy effect. There are 3 or more, exile the creature. I would say we don't need this. Dispatch. But we gotta make cuts. We have to. Yeah, it's just we got to keep the. Yeah, the rest of these are really fucking good. Oh, chat, this is hard. Now we got 21 to remove. Which 21 do we remove? All right, remember my own rule. Let's not build for a situation. We already have land tax in the deck, right? Yeah, we already have land tax in the deck. We'll get rid of this. It's a really good spell, good artifact. Attack an artifact, proliferate. Yeah, that counts. We got a lot of card draw. This might be the most important thing in there. One of the most important things in there. A manifold key. Yeah, I think we keep it as is. It's got to remove 20 other things. Honestly, it's probably going to have to come from the creatures. Or you know what? I can't have everything. It's all good. $18 instants is a lot for this deck. Oh, this is really hard, bro. My brain hurts. I'm thinking about what 20 to cut. What 20 do I cut from this deck now? All of these are so good, man. I'm stuck on this one. You know what? Let's re-go through these creatures. All right, we'll take him out. We'll take him out. Sorry about that. I think I've gotten so used to streaming to like nobody that it feels weird when people aren't in here. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. I've got to move 15 cards. Let's get through this. Speed run. Got to move 15 cards. Speed run. I don't need to give all my stuff flying, but that is very useful. I'm gonna move him just for the synergy's sake. What was that? Yeah, I'll say this is, I can get rid of this. That's it, bro. 28 creatures? I'd like to keep it right there. I'll remove some of the instants. There's a lot of them. We'll do maybe board on that one. Really good. Interaction. Oh, protection. Put that in a maybe board. We'll put that maybe board. Not this one. God damn it, bro. So many good spells. So many good ones. We just gotta remove 10 cards. We gotta remove 10 cards. You know what? We don't need this Elsbeth in here. We have the other one. It would be nice to have that emblem. Don't need it though. I gotta keep those in there. You know what? That's essentially the same thing. So I'll put this in maybe board because we don't need all of them. Like I said, you know, we don't need to stack them all like crazy. As fun as using that spell would be, it's not a necessity to the core of the deck, so I'm just gonna take it out. I feel like as much as I really want to keep Skrell's Hive, I feel like I don't need it. I'm gonna keep it in there though, just in case I get one of my token doublers. Ah, that's so good. You know, Skull Clamp, that is getting me to draw 2 cards. This is at the beginning of end step. Let me look up something. Is your discard step at the end of your end step? No, the discard step, called the cleanup step, is a separate step that happens after the end step. So it happens after the end step. Okay. So I don't want to end up with more. You know, this, what, that costs 1. I get a token on the field. It costs 1. That's not that crazy. So okay, I can remove this. I paid to remove 2 oil counters. We're cutting it down. I say we keep the 10 enchantments. I'll remove cut a deal. No, but it's just too much value if people do want to draw a card. X is 5. I would say I don't need all of them, right? This is 1, 2, too much. I think this is too expensive of a sorcery for me to do when I have the other ones in there already. Yeah, those are fine to keep. This is one of those situations where I would say it's kind of okay to remove lands because I have done that before. And I've been totally fine in my decks. I usually run a lower land count in majority of my decks. Yeah, I think this is just gonna be one of those cases where I remove lands. Still 30, 31 lands, and I've done plenty of awesome games with 30 or higher lands. Plus some of these produce like a lot of mana. So here we go. We have gotten this deck done. It took us a long time. We've been live for 2.5 hours because the deck had 166, 170 or something like that cards in it. And we had to go through and remove all of the fluff. Which, to be fair, a lot of these cards were really good. These are 35 of the cards that were in there. The other 30 something, we literally just axed. And I kept the ones marked blue as I went along, so that way I could effectively tell myself these are must-haves. These I need to keep. That's one of the things I love the most about Architect. I can categorize things by color and always keep track of the ones that are very important to me, that I want to keep in the deck, things I don't have, whatever. It has one infinite inside the deck. This is just for people that, you know, skip past it on YouTube. You have Phyrexian Vindicator and you have Guilty Conscience. Basically infinite damage. It is a bracket 4 because we have 4 game changers in here and a 2-card infinite. We will make this unlisted. We'll uncheck unlisted and make it public. Mono white Phyrexian toxic / infect. Really annoying deck to probably deal with, and surprisingly I've gotten a lot of card draw inside of this deck. I'll have a link inside the description or in the pinned comments actually if you want to check out the deck and copy it for yourself and then change some things up. In case you don't know, when you go on Architect you can go to more and then you are able to clone the deck, and that will bring you out to a copy of it, and then you can make any adjustments. It'll be yours. I'm always building decks. I'm always doing stuff. I would love to do more streams and videos of us building decks and doing stuff like this. I think this is going to be a really fun deck. I probably won't buy this year. It'll probably be next year. It's expensive, mainly because of the lands, I will be honest. And we have a lot of creatures in here, and some of the creatures are pricey. Let's look at our average mana cost. It's about 2 and 3. Very evened out actually between 2, 3, and 4. Ooh, we definitely got to add these in there because I like having my tokens if I do purchase these. So if we go to buy, buy the cheapest printing of including everything, you'd spend $6 grand. Holy shit. No, we only need to include out of deck cards. No. Yeah, mana pool. What are these prices? I don't know what this is. Yeah, we can purchase the deck. Let's go to Card Kingdom. I think it was trying to say it was 6,000 because of a certain card. Yeah, it says 99. Yeah, Mishra's Workshop. Nobody has a land for that. I'll just proxy it then at that point. If I'm able to get every other card inside of the deck, and the only thing that I'm not able to grab is Mishra's Workshop, we proxy. No? I feel like that's the way you go. It's just not available. And there are cheaper versions of Mishra's Workshop. It's just they don't have it. Let me see the printing that we were trying to grab. Unselect everything. It's a great card. There's no price data on it. You tap, add 3 to your mana pool, spend this only to cast artifact spells. And then you go to the printings, and the only one that it shows that has a price is this for like $6 grand. So what is this set from? Vintage Masters? Do we not just go to see if they have one on TCG Player? Like, is this just universally, no matter what printing, a super expensive land? Mishra's Toy Workshop. Add 3 mana to spend this only to cast spells and abilities put tokens onto the battlefield. Use toys to represent tokens. Wow, okay. We're not able to find any other Mishra's Workshop. I'm gonna put you guys on. This is where I go to grab any high quality proxies, bro. This is where we go, brother. We go to fucking Etsy, bro. Hold on, let me sign into my shit. You guys are missing. So many people be missing out. I swear. So many people be missing out. All right, let's go back over here. Mishra's Workshop. There are some extremely talented people on here, man. I'm telling you. You can get one that looks exactly like it. There are some trusted people on here that I would recommend going to. I've kind of talked about them plenty of times beforehand. See, like this, like it looks okay. I wouldn't do this one though. Like I said, there are some trusted people that I like on Etsy. And they can give you some really cool stuff, and then you show up at your local card shop and you explain to them why you have it. It's like, hey, I went to go purchase it, I couldn't find one, but if I do find one, I'll buy the actual thing. You can literally always say that to people, and they would normally like understand. Like, oh, so you intend on buying it? Yeah. I'm actually surprised by how little of them they are. There's usually almost any card that I want to proxy, a bunch of them in here. I like this. This looks pretty cool. Proxy Universe is okay. Yeah, usually if it's not in the top couple searches, you're not gonna find them. I do kind of like this. I was looking for some of the trusted people that I know. But if they don't, you know, if they're not selling, then it's cool. They usually have a way that you can message them for something as well. I always try to look for a video in these because it actually shows the quality. It's easier to see the quality in the video. What's art design 1? Okay, there's art design 1 and then art design 2. And laminated for a professional feel. Laminated doesn't make it feel professional, actually makes it feel more fake. No, I'd rather it be matte. I'm so curious. Hold on, let me do some more research here in a sec. in the 1993 antique set. Vintage Masters. Hold on. What about Vintage Master set? Oh, it's a digital only product. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because the physical cards inclusion on the reserve. Got it. Okay. Oh, that's actually a shame. It's not able to find it. Well, it is what it is. It's a card that we're gonna have to fucking proxy. It's a digital only product. I like this one more. It's the newer one, but it's the digital only. This is the actual physical version of the card. So I say we grab this and, you know, let it be a wrap. Add that to the card. Oklahoma. Oof. But the good thing is I'm not going to be buying this card for a while. So I'll keep it saved. Because I don't plan on buying this deck until next year. It's just too much money to spend. $738. Roughly $600 something dollars. So I'll go over here to Mishra's Workshop. I'll put proxy for reasons. I'll switch the printing over to the official printing. I just don't like it. It inflates the fuck out of the number. Unless we're able to actually purchase all the cards from Mana Pool. Mana Pool is a cool place as well. View detailed cart. I think there's a way to empty cart, right? They keep everything in your cart. Like, that's one thing I really like about Mana Pool. But if you forget stuff that's in your cart, it becomes a pain. Clear cart, there it is. All right, so let's clear the cart. Then we go back over to Mana Pool. Hold on one sec. Let us also put some music back on. All right, let's go. Optimize price. Let's see what we come out to. And it still comes out to about $4,000. Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's just a Mistra, bro. I don't think it's going to be able to optimize the price that, you know, that much better. $4,000 is still fucking $4,000, bro. Like, be easier to grab this deck if I was like rich. Like $4,000, if I have $4,000, I'm not spending it on card. Sorry, I'm just not doing it. It's that Mishra's Village, isn't it? It's gotta be. Oh, Mishra's Workshop. Yeah, holy crap. Goodness, $3,800. Yeah, we're good off that. That's definitely going to be something that we proxy, because I'm not getting rid of it in the deck. We're proxying that. Anyways, that is my mono white Phyrexian toxic / infect deck. I like it. Spent way too long on it than I wanted to, if I'll be completely honest. Way too long on it. Let's move on to the next thing. To the battlefield. It's a lot of value there. I do think though that we're doing enough of everything else in this deck already that we don't need it. Sunfall, exile all creatures. Incubate X, where X is a number of creatures. Yeah, that just rebuilds my board immediately. You gain X life, create X colors, Phyrexian Might creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can be blocked. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. A lot of destroy shit. Wrath of God, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Yeah, I would say keeping 8 sorceries is fine. So here we go. We have gotten this deck done. It took us a long time. We've been live for 2.5 hours because the deck had 166, 170, something like that, cards in it. And we had to go through and remove all of the fluff. Which, to be fair, a lot of these cards were really good. These are 35 of the cards that were in there. The other 30-something, we literally just axed. And I kept the ones marked blue as I went along, so that way I could effectively tell myself these are must-haves. These I need to keep. That's one of the things I love the most about Architect. I can categorize things by color and always keep track of the ones that are very important to me, that I want to keep in the deck, things I don't have, whatever. It has 1 infinite inside the deck. Mono white Phyrexian toxic / infect. Really annoying deck to probably deal with. And surprisingly, I've gotten a lot of card draw inside of this deck. I'll have a link inside the description or in the pinned comments, actually, if you want to check out the deck and copy it for yourself and then change some things up. In case you don't know, when you go on Architect, you can go to more and then you are able to clone the deck, and that will bring you out to a copy of it, and then you can make any adjustments. It'll be yours. I'm always building decks. I'm always doing stuff. I would love to do more streams and videos of us building decks and doing stuff like this. I think this is going to be a really fun deck. Let's look at our average mana cost. It's about 2 and 3. Very evened out actually between 2, 3, and 4. Anyways, that is my mono white Phyrexian toxic / infect deck. I like it. Spent way too long on it than I wanted to, if I'll be completely honest. Way too long on it. Let's move on to the next thing.
Lights down low, but spirits so high. Game controller in hand, ready to fly. The night's a playground where time stands still. In this cozy nook, let's get our thrill. Pencil shining bright in the midnight glow. Leveling up in a world we know. Laughing together as the hours drift by. In this gaming sanctuary we touch the sky.